a bounty, and you get paid. Simple as that.
Hiya, Tef.
Hello, Dom. How's it going?
Very good, mate. You've been in California.
I have. This is now a couple of weeks ago.
And you went to see Respawn Entertainment, and you got some hands-on with Titanfall 2.
Yes, not their Star Wars game, Titanfall 2.
Yeah, shame. And we found out about the single player last week.
Mm-hmm.
But for the multiplayer, is this just more of the same?
Well, you'd kind of expect it to be more of the same, and it is more Titanfall. Definitely, you can't say it's not Titanfall. Well, yeah, but as people will discover, there's a technical test out sometime this month. I don't have that information as we're recording, and it's going to run over. But it is going to run over 2 weekends, and at first it's going to be like first 2 maps and 2 modes, and the second weekend is going to have an extra map, an extra mode. You'll be able to level up your character a bit more. So people will be able to get to grips with it and be able to see that, yeah, this is still Titanfall. Definitely still Titanfall. But all the way through, there's lots and lots of smaller changes. It could be just like the ability has been rejigged and stuff like that. They've got rid of the card system.
Good.
Yeah, that was so pointless. They've changed all of the game modes. Well, not all of them, but they've changed the game modes and made sure... I think they've just made sure that the game flows a lot better, and it's got a lot more logic behind some of the gameplay elements that change some of the things that maybe didn't work quite so well in the first game. As great as the first game was, there were definitely some flaws to it.
Okay, then what about the main movement? Has that been changed?
In essence, no. You're still doing the whole wall running, double jumping nonsense. And you've still got the Titan coming in, you've got the boost dodge in the Titan and stuff like this. The Titans still have the fantastic sense of weight. The pilots still have that feeling of fleet foot, levity. They can just get around wherever they want, it feels like sometimes. But the abilities do alter what you can do a little bit. So the most eye-catching one that's been featured in the trailers has been the grappling hook. But yeah, that's just one of many abilities, and you've got all kinds of things. You've got grenades, which act as kind of mini black holes and suck everything into one particular area. You've got abilities where you can hover in midair. I'm not 100% sure if this was in the first game. You can hover in midair as you're aiming down sights, so you can kind of pull off some ridiculous sniping shots, maybe.
Okay, so the original was beautifully chaotic. Is that still the case?
Yes and no, again. This really depends on the game mode, and though the core movement is still the same, the abilities are different, the game modes are quite a bit different as well.
Right.
The main new mode is called Bounty Hunt. So both teams are effectively fighting over shared resources, and those resources are AI, which drop into 2 areas, and so you head to this area, A or B, and then you're trying to kill the AI, kill the enemy, and for everything that you do here, you get cash. And some of this just goes straight into your team's pool, but some of it also goes into your personal pocket. And then once this particular round is over, once all of the AI have been killed, all of the sentinels and all of the robots all dead, you head over to the bank and you deposit your cash and you give your team a big boost. But every single time you die, you lose half of the cash that you're holding, and that can be picked up by the other team. So, I think this one's going to be quite tricky for them to explain to people, but it's also a pretty fascinating game mode. But then there's 2 other game modes. You've got Pilot versus Pilot, which is something which was requested for such a long time after the first game came out. No Titans, just pilots. The maps are fairly compact, so that works quite well. And there's also Amped Hardpoint, which... in the original game, Hardpoint used to have all of the AI running around. No AI in this. It's pilots and their Titans. You've got the control points. You've got to hold them. You can continue to hold them once it's been captured, and then if you stand around for long enough, kind of the opposite of what you'd want to do in Titanfall, really. If you stand around for long enough, then you can charge it up a second time, and then you get more points.
So is there less AI in this game?
Yeah, I think that's one of the interesting things here. That there's, of these 3 modes, there's only AI in Bounty Hunt. Right, and what Respawn have done is, instead of it kind of just being noise and fluff for people to like churn their way through and get a few points. It's the aim of the game is to hunt down the AI.
Yeah.
It's still there, it's still nicely integrated, but it's there where it makes sense and where it adds to the game mode. And I think that's the most important thing.
Sure. Okay, but do you think it's going to hurt it that it was an Xbox One exclusive the first time around?
You know, I really hope that it doesn't, because the first game was fantastic. The fact that it wasn't on PlayStation 4, what does that matter? It was an Xbox One exclusive, it was PC exclusive, that's the end of it. And I think the only thing that people might be turned off by is the fact that it's jetpacks. And whereas the first Titanfall was right on the cusp of this wave, they were the first ones to get to market as the kind of jetpack first-person shooter game. Here we've now had this going on for a few years, and people might have tired of it a bit. We've seen the reaction to Call of Duty. We've seen the Battlefield series go in a completely opposite direction.
Yeah.
So I think that's maybe more of a concern for them. But at the same time, they've now got a single player. They've been able to refine the multiplayer, and I think they can do some very interesting things, and I hope that it works out for them.
That'll do nicely then. Titanfall 2 is out on October 28th for PS4, Xbox One and PC. If you want to play it sooner though, you can keep an eye out for the technical test this month, and don't forget that we have written previews and interviews on thesixthAxis.com. See you later.
Goodbye.
Warning, enemy pilot attacking. Enemy pilot has ejected. Hostile pilot contained and destroyed.